With all of the new ways to unlock epic equipment, it can be tough to choose which ones to unlock. So let's break down the best ones to unlock and which ones you can safely ignore for now. We will have video chapters for each epic equipment, so the best value is by watching through the entire video. To kick things off, let's start with the Electro Boots, the best epic to unlock first. This is the strongest epic in the game thanks to its ability to adapt to any army. With its high DPS and solid self-healing, the Royal Champion is quite flexible. Despite its nerfs, this equipment is still very strong when paired with other equipment like the Rocket Spear, Haste Vial, and even Hog Puppets. Things like Royal Champion charges, support within attacks, or even clearing back-end defenses becomes a breeze when using this equipment. So it's best to pair this with armies that use things like dragons, super hogs, miners, super witches, or really any attack where she can shred defenses and clear the base with ease. Following the Electro Boots, I then unlock the Spiky Ball. This is the Barbarian King's best epic equipment, and with its high damage per building, along with its HP and DPS increase passives, it has become one of the more flexible epics to choose from. It's still a very strong option if you pair it with equipment like the Vamp Stash, Giant Gauntlet, Earthquake Boots, if both are maxed out, and even the Snake Bracelet. There aren't many downsides to picking this equipment since it really helps your king in any situation. This overall works in a wide array of armies where you can take advantage of its instant damage. No matter where your king is on the base, it can often get great value in the process. Up next is the Magic Mirror, which is one of the best epics for the Archer Queen. This is a very strong equipment for most players who love to use ground attacks. This gives your queen a lot more DPS when paired with the 2 clones, while also having a ton of survivability to work with. This pairs so well with equipment like the healer puppets or the new action figure equipment to increase her survivability, and in case of the action figure, increase her DPS output. The only downside is that it doesn't do nearly as well as the giant arrow and healer puppets within air spam attacks. So this is best used with most ground armies, such as Root Riders, Titan Smash, Super Witches, or even Throwers. This can even be used on the outside with the Siege Barrack to speed up funneling. Following the Magic Mirror, we have the new action figure equipment. The action figure is another one of the Queen's best epic equipment, especially for ground-based armies. This is powerful due to the huge amount of HP the Giant has, along with its solid damage per hit. That said, this pairs very well with the Magic Mirror or Giant Arrow, depending on if you're seeing invisibility spell towers or not. Similar to the Mirror though, it will often get less value in air spam versus the Giant Arrow and Healer Puppet combos. This means the best armies that can take advantage of this are armies that use a hero dive, such as Rocket Loons or Super Hogs, or even smash armies like Throwers and Super Witches. Next up is the Giant Gauntlet, which is actually quite a solid epic for the Barbarian King. Despite the nerf it had back in September 2024, it's very strong with its splash damage along with the built-in damage reduction. Its combos with equipment like the Rage Vial, Earthquake Boots, or Spiky Ball make it a solid option for different armies and situations. The main downside is that it could get less value when buildings are spaced out compared to the Spiky Ball, but the Giant Gauntlet can still work if your king is used to set a solid funnel or be an additional tank inside the base. So armies that use hero dives like Super Hogs will be able to take advantage of the additional tanking and damage, while other armies can use him for funneling like in Super Witches or even Thrower attacks. From there, I recommend unlocking the Rocket Spear next. While this equipment isn't essential for the Royal Champion in comparison to the Electro Boots, it can open more possibilities. Its strength lies on the number of spears as well as the damage it does per spear. This can pair very well with equipment like the Seeking Shield and Electro Boots depending on the strategy. However, one such downside this equipment has is how easy it can be to waste shots due to using the wrong equipment, or if there are skeleton traps or defending heroes nearby. Often, it's best to use this towards the back end to support your army from a distance, or can be used to start off a Royal Champion charge if you prefer to use it over the Haste Vial. So armies that use dragons could be perfect for setting up a Royal Champion charge with this, but you can use the spear shield combo for most Smash armies to clear through the back end defenses. Next up, we have the Grand Warden's Fireball, which is his best epic equipment. Despite this equipment being so far down the list, it's actually quite strong for any base in a limited number of strategies. The power of its 6-tile range and high damage that it deals within its radius allows it to pair extremely well with the earthquake spells to smash buildings and even the giant arrow if you want to clear the town hall easily. However, with it being so niche, it's only good with the Rage Gem within Smash armies or the Eternal Tome if you're using an early blimp. So strategies that can really use this equipment effectively often are things like Super Witches and Rocket Balloons due to these armies not needing the Warden to be a support and would rather benefit from him doing higher damage. Now, these 7 epic equipment are ones I recommend that you unlock in really any order. The next 3 are ones I recommend avoiding, especially if you're a casual player. This leads us to the Snake Bracelet, one of the worst epics for the Barbarian King. This equipment mostly allows your king to be a huge tank while spawning snakes to help him out. The downside to this is that not only are the snakes very weak, especially to splash damage, but being a large tank doesn't change the damage received, unlike the Gauntlet, which can easily tank a ton of damage despite its limited duration. This equipment also only has really like one good combo, which is with the Spiky Ball, but often it can be outclassed by other options, especially if you're not in hard mode. So if you're really gonna use this, just use it with Root Riders, as it can benefit from the tanking and spawning of snakes, but it isn't required to actually use for this army. Another equipment I don't recommend unlocking is the Frozen Arrow. Despite this option being great for queen charges, it's not really a strong epic equipment. The main issue is with queen charges being weaker compared to other options like the Royal Champion charge and the Warden charges. The Frozen Arrow doesn't gain much value from it. Additionally, the buff to the Archer Puppet's DPS boost has directly made this equipment a lot less valuable despite it being able to slow down defenses. So oftentimes, if you're going to use this, it's best to use it within queen charge attacks at lower tunnel levels where the DPS of defenses aren't as high as higher tunnel levels. And arguably the worst epic to unlock currently is the Lavaloon Puppet. Not much needs to be said about this, but it spawns one of the strongest event troops that we've ever had in Clash of Clans, but it's for the Warden. This cannot take advantage of the Eternal Tome, and any other ability options are just less viable, especially since its hero boost stats are really bad. Other than this, the other problem with it is that it goes for air defenses, meaning that you really can't take advantage. And with it being not really nearly as tanky and not doing nearly as much damage, it doesn't really make sense to use. So in terms of attacks, I just wouldn't use it. It's just really, really bad. Now, hopefully this helps you in terms of choosing which epic equipment that you should unlock during events, for gems, or even within the CWL Metal Shop. However, if you want a breakdown of the current best attacks with the new event troops, check this one out right here.